That's not bad. If they play Shang-Chi here and then they play Miles here, I still lose though. If they're playing Miles over here, Typhoid Mary does a lot of good work. Certainly recommends herself. And then if they play Hawk, I would be able to cancel it with the Enchantress. I do take the debuff. I'm going up by 7 on left to 11. That way, if they play the Miles, I do beat them. Ah! I think this is the call. Shang-Chi knocks him down. Miles comes in. We made the call. Ooh. Feels good to be good, chat. Welcome my friends back to Marvel Snap with Sauron as part of the latest series drop coming down into Series 3. So much more accessible. Had to do a revisit for our ultimate Sauron Tempo list. I think this list is poised to do incredibly well in the current meta because a lot of decks are choosing to drop off the Shang-Chi, not running the control that would otherwise be able to shut us up. Meanwhile, we have a lot of tools to be able to control our opponents, squeezing in the Enchantress and the Black Bolt. The adaptation for this list is bringing in the Nebula in place of, I believe, Sunspot is what I had been running before, and then we are picking up the Black Bolt Stature package together, having seen how incredibly well this combo potential has when run together. And so this way we actually have 2 different routes to be able to create multiple 1/7 cards. We have Sauron to be able to take away the ongoing ability from Ebony Maw, or we have the Black Bolt to be able to score onto the Stature, and then we double down if we're able to hit these combos with the Moon Girl to create just an unstoppable flood of cards on that final turn. Incredibly flexible as well, able to react to what the opponent is doing. Short of finding that kind of combo, I mean, we just hit them with so many powerful cards over and over again. Typhoid Mary, the Red Skull. In fact, if we're playing Moon Girl just on pieces like Lizard, I can quite happily play a couple Lizards and Zeros to be able to zap them out, and that is still a very high tempo final turn. It's all about being able to cultivate your hand, play to what the opponent is doing, navigate the different locations, and then be able to burst on the board with that final play that the opponent will not be able to surmount. If you don't have the Stature or the Black Bolt, then you can run Jeff. Jeff is an awesome option to be able to adapt in here, and you can also go into Titania. I've actually cut the Titania running the Nebula here, looking to be able to thin the hand more reliably because Titania is something that I wanted to hold back before, and then have the Moon Girl allowed to create the burst. But of course, Moon Girl onto Titania, if you're coming from behind an initiative, is a beautiful combo as well. Here indexing just a little bit harder on that Stature hit. Diving into battle, we've got the deck list up above. If you guys have been playing a version of this, I would love to hear how you have teched out your Sauron package up against Faker. Aren't you still smashing at MSI? I feel like there's more important things that you should be doing rather than snapping against me. The crazy thing, I play on the Asia server. That's probably why I see names like this that the fans will create accounts. Zabu. Maybe it's just what all the Pro League players want to do to unwind. Who am I to judge? And we have just nothing going on, eh? Well, Unstoppable Tempo is not looking like such a great title when you have to wait after playing Nebula into turn 4 to be able to drop anything to the board. We'll see how well we can turn things around. X-Mansion might be able to give us a helping hand. Quicksilver for them. Here we go. We got the Zabu into 0 play, which will allow me then to 0 out the Red Skull. And from there, we can combo Typhoid Mary and Enchantress together, looking to be able to find where they play Hawk. Ooh, Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is likely to activate Miles. I'm expecting them to move him this coming turn. Now, we're both kind of holding back and cultivating our hands. It's a very popular style of play currently. The alternative is playing Lizard into Moon Girl, which would be able to duplicate the Typhoid Mary, but without... yeah, that's not what I want to hit on. All right, give me Red Skull. Give me Red Skull play to mid lane. I really don't want to be ahead in initiative, but we'll see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to probably play Black Bolts. Black Bolt would be able to hit the Lizard, which I'm not planning on playing anyway, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm expecting a move of a Nightcrawler and a play of a Black Bolt. Polaris. Okay. So they have Miles, but they don't have Stature, and they have seeded for Hawk. So they have Miles Hawk to be able to play against us here. They do flip first. So the Enchantress would be able to make a hit. What is the combo that I want to pull then? Flip this lane. That's not bad. If they play Shang-Chi here and then they play Miles here, I still lose though. If they're playing Miles over here, Typhoid Mary does a lot of good work. Certainly recommends herself. Certainly recommends herself. And then if they play Hawk, I would be able to cancel it with the Enchantress. I do take the debuff. Based on what I think is going to be coming down, I think I do eat the debuff on my cards. It's a +3 play. Why am I thinking that this is good? I'm going up by 7 on left to 11. That way, if they play the Miles, I do beat them. Ah! I think this is the call. Shang-Chi knocks him down. Miles comes in. We made the call. Ooh. Feels good to be good, chat. Feels good to be good. With how much the meta is skewing toward just mid-range lists that are trying to be able to generate a lot of tempo just on every single turn, with the popularity of this Black Bolt Stature list, I'm surprised that more people are not playing Sauron. He is the ultimate tempo generating list. Nebula v Nebula. Classic. Classic. You've got a more beautiful one. How did you scale up the battle pass so quickly? Oh no. Baxter building? So if you play into Baxter building, you guaranteed lose bar with no name. Okay. Okay. The puzzle location conundrum presents itself. They understand. Ooh, but only Iceman? Okay. I mean, you stop my Nebula from scaling for 1 turn, but you can only fill up so much at that locale. There's the Sauron. Fascinating. I think I do play Sauron here. With the Moon Girl getting tagged, it's quite unfortunate that I will not be able to play her on 4, because otherwise we could have had 2 Ebony Maws to be able to come in. But I accept. I mean, as long as we win these 2 local... Ooh, incredibly thankful that we played in. Alright. Now we can show some burst tempo power with the Ebony Maw. Nebula's just canceling each other out over there. It's exactly what you wanted to see. Ebony Maw plus the Lizard. Into Black Bolt plus Stature plus Enchantress. It's so good. So dang good. They can't use Dr. Doom to be able to reinforce because of bar with no name. Ass? I am expecting it's a She-Hulk coming out now. They can She-Hulk plus Wave to be able to cancel out any combo plays that we try to make. So here goes Black Bolt anyway. No, but if they She-Hulk Wave, then they don't have any board. I guess they could... No, they don't have any board. Yeah, it's ours. The game is ours. I'm surprised they spent the Storm on Baxter building rather than bar with no name. You're telling me that you... the Gamora. Okay. Telling me that they can win this one on the right. But when it's coming into margin of victory, what are you going to do? I do flip first, which makes me vulnerable on the Typhoid Mary side to a Shang-Chi. But is that really what they're going to play? I don't think so. And I'm so far ahead at Flooded anyway, I could just win. If they Shang-Chi, okay, so they'd be at 24. I would be at 20. Yeah, I still just win, even if the Shang-Chi lands. Oh, baby. Yeah, that's what I thought. My friends, this deck feels lean, it feels mean, and it just might be a climbing machine. Are we ahead of the meta on this one with Sauron coming into S3 that he is going to get picked up as an adaptation on the Stature list? I feel like it actually is just an upgrade. on what the other Stature mid-range deck is trying to do. You can still move pieces around. Maybe you want to be able to get, like, if you're running the Jeff, which I had suggested as a potential insert, then you could squeeze in Miles. There's a lot of flexibility on the list, but what Sauron is bringing in terms of the burst tempo potential is incredible. We'll play Ebony Maw here. They are Dracula Zoo, a Dracula Dump. We ironically have a good play with the Red Skull. It used to be a lot better with the Dracula. You'd go Red Skull and Infinite inside Dracula Dump. And then you have this. Why do you have Sword Master? You did hit the Swarm. You know what? That is a ballsy move, and it paid out for you. So, who am I to criticize? Do I set up Dracula? How much am I going to be able to thin otherwise? I can play 0 into Typhoid Mary on 5. I can play Stature and Enchantress on 6, and then hope that I've drawn another 1 cost. It puts Dracula down to, say, a 50-50 on getting the Red Skull. Red Skull or whatever other piece we draw. The unfortunate thing is whatever else we draw is going to be a whiff. It's ballsy. Kind of here for it. The alternative is I make a pretty weak play right now. So I think I'm actually going to play for the Dracula. Yeah. Alright, they're going to hide it. I'm anticipating it's their Dracula, but who is to say? Oh, man. What a choice. I can go Moon Girl now to be able to get double Stature. It has to be playing for double Stature because then I can Typhoid Mary Stature on the next turn. Yeah, it has to be. MODOK with 2 swarms in hand is really good. APOC, so they're just discard. They're not Dracula Dump. I thought with the Lizard they would be, but clearly I was mistaken, and this is incredibly good for them. What a hand. This card's still just an amazing list, guys. That's what got the free-to-play account to infinite. There is no denying that discard can hang with the best of them. So now the question is, do we count as the best of them? You have 4 swarms, you have a large Apocalypse, you just drew a Chavez, and you have a Dracula sitting right here. Oh my gosh, what a roll. I thought that we were sitting on a great hand, and indeed we still are. We're going to be looking at a Typhoid Mary, Red Skull Enchantress hand for the Dracula to choose a consumption target. Heart of the cards, heart of the cards. They put their Dracula off on right, that's going to be 16 points. Where are they going to fill in with all the swarms? They can do whatever they want with the swarms. That's the problem right now, is they have so much flexible point expenditure on the side of the swarms that I am hard-pressed. I'm sitting at 12. I could give it a Stature if he thinks that the Dracula can solo win that lane, but then if he helps out with the swarms, it invalidates me. This Dracula could come up as a hero. The 0 to hero, it's all playing kind of the odds. If it pulls Enchantress, quite sad. If it pulls Typhoid Mary or Red Skull, very powerful. Here she goes. Here she goes. I have this sinking feeling that I could have played. Okay, so they did go all in on right. Oh, 27. I think it has to be Red Skull here. No, even Red Skull's not going to be enough. Oh, they got us. We got it, but then the 26. Yeah. This card hits its combos. The Typhoid Mary going mid would have been a clean point allocation, but then trying to play around how many swarms they could play, anticipating they would play more swarms on left, and maybe just put a swarm down mid. It would be up against our Dracula, but our deck wasn't tech for Dracula. Oh, this is why Snap is so much fun. Well played to the opponent. Central Park puts a little bit of a pinch on our board space, but going 0 straight into Lizard is great. We'll see what we draw into next. The Zabu. Alright, so we 0 out the Lizard. Can establish the energy cheat of the Zabu. Shaka. Somebody's already preparing their boosters for the High Evolutionary, which, guys, we're going to be doing a testing stream for High Evolutionary. Hope to see you guys there. Monday evening, 10 p.m. American Central Standard Time. It begins the madness. We'll have a warm-up waiting room. Bring your spicy deck suggestions. We'll be trying to test as many as possible. Or they're just Patriot. I think you hold Enchantress to be able to shock them later, or do you hit them now? You hit them now because they could play the Mystique off to the side and then disperse their ongoing effects. Yeah. And you snap because you have the stones to do it and see the game through. Enchantress is so good right now. There was a version of this list that I was actually running with the Rogue, which... if the Rogue could steal the Patriot, oh good gosh. You could also run Super Scroll, but the flexibility of the Enchantress being able to take away the negative of the Red Skull, and then the Typhoid Mary, the Lizard, she just feeds in so nicely, and then she gets the energy discount of the Zab. It's all around incredible. The opponent's not retreating? They are not retreating. They are in. They're in for a pound. There was no board. I thought I was going to be able to combo my Red Skull Ebony Maw, which, I mean, 19-point drop here would have been amazing. As it is, because the Nebula scales when they drop Blue Marvel, they're going to be disappointed. Let's go. So here is the deck in all of its up-tempo glory. Ooh, the adaptation with the Black Bolt and the Stature, it feels great. Very smooth progression, and like I said, there's a lot of flexibility here on what other mid-range tools you want to bring in, what other high-value targets you want for the Moon Girl, or just to be able to squeeze in on any point during the energy curve if you want to work in the Jeff, the Miles Morales. The future is bright for high-tempo mid-range lists, and I think this is one of the very best. We'll have to hear your thoughts on any deck improvements down in the comments, and if you guys pick this specific list up, I hope it earns you many cubes and you climb up to infinite. Till next time, thank you guys for watching. Keep on snapping.